as to what I get out of my work at Chatterbox. I am at the same time making case for me to stay on with you all as one of your sound recorders, realising that anyone can be a cameraman or soundman these days with very basic instructions. I have to realise that mystique has gone, and a more than adequate rendition of a scene to be shot, in TV or film, or a reasonable sound recording can be done on a smartphone or via a podcast device these days. My computer skills are quite limited, however I do feel I have listening skills to judge on pleasantries in my sound recording, in technical terms amplitude or harmonic distortion, so sound quality is of utmost importance to me, bearing in mind our listeners will have highly tuned ears, making up for their loss of sight. It has to be right on the night at the very beginning of the whole operation of the studio. It was Maureen Monks, one of Chatterbox's esteemed readers and of Anglo TV, who suggested I might consider volunteering at Chatterbox 9 or 10 years ago. And to be brief as I can, my career began as a sound trainee in the studios of Thames TV at Teddington, and latterly with a move to Anglo TV in their studios and outside broadcasts. However, much of my latter career was spent on documentaries, filming in the UK, USA, Africa and the Middle East. So basically a career with ITV and being loaned out to Channel 4 and to the BBC's Natural History Unit from time to time. In fact, there were hundreds of different situations we filmed, too many to talk about now, and of course many hundreds of people from all walks of society, dysfunctional families, families to the rich and famous. One had to quickly get on with our interviewees. One of the things I was told when I first went into the studio at Thames was, don't accept the artist. And I still remember this, and of course I try to abide by this when I first meet aspiring newsreaders for our auditions here at Chatterbox. Then on the night, as they say in telly or the entertainment industry, when we do our show at Chatterbox, I think we have a relaxed and light-hearted relationship on the show. There's no panic, we're all volunteers on this great charity of Chatterbox. It's an enjoyable event. But back to basics. All those years ago I was taught how a microphone worked and where to place the microphone in front of an artist. That could be anything from ABBA to Lina Zabaroni, or other people from Shirley Bassey, Dusty, Tom Jones, Zilbach, to bands and orchestras, which reminds me that for every musical instrument there are best places to set the microphone, and also to be careful not to tread on a musician's Stradivarius. Technically at Teddington certainly gave me a good grounding in sound, and latterly in my days I was mixing music, and by that time I had my own sound crew. I was at one stage a drums operator and engaged in post-production sound. However, I did much prefer studio work where there would be between 5 and 50 people in the studio contributing their particular skills for the show: camera, sound, props, stage, electricians, makeup, wardrobe, not forgetting the director, the PA and the bishop, etc. But as a drums operator, I always found it a bit lonely, locked away, preparing the music and sound effects for the day. Then the studio day with a further day into the double suite for the post-production of the show. But drums operation was certainly useful when I was asked to do a pilot for the Norfolk magazine. This I did for some 6 years to make the audio version. The weekend before the show I'd be preparing all the sound effects and music to be played into the show live. And sometimes I'd go out over the weekend and record extracts from the concert to be included in the show. I really enjoyed the whole of the project, with me painting pictures and sound, wafting my sound effects and music into the show live as we progressed that morning. It was easy to do an edit as we proceeded for fluffs, etc. Methods changed, and nowadays this has to be done in a far better way, and it is done in a far better way by each reader reading their complete contributions all in one go, and then an editing exercise which Stephen Cox knows so well. But so many things I love about my Chatterbox sessions, but one thing I really used to love, I'd invariably waft through to the checker's office, hardly having uttered more than a word, and there would be, "Hello Eddie, how are you?" From a lovely man by the name of Michael Blythe, and he's here tonight. He was quite visually impaired, but his hearing must have been so highly tuned in a tonal sense, and with a good memory for him to recognise people's voices. And his wife Patricia, though they've just left Chatterbox, as you probably know, they've been here for many, many years. Always cheerful I was found, and his wife equally so. So may my side of the Chatterbox operation continue in the manner I've been used to, that is to do a live show. I love editing as we proceed. It is so quick to edit Just roll back, find a suitable place in the dialogue, and cue our reader. And I've constantly referred to doing a live show. By this I mean I do not wish to do the show as a post-production type operation. I like faces to work with. I can say, are you ready to rock and roll? Smile for the glass. Good. Anyway, so completely and perhaps quite irrelevant to all this is that most of my other life, apart from my family, I have a great interest in motorcars, which has taken me to Nürburgring with Sterling Moss, also as technical backup with the Monte Carlo Rally for historic cars. And I'm trying to underline the fact that I don't revel in computer technology or solitary activities. I just love people, I just love doing live shows. May I say, in the past 10 years, I've introduced at least 5 or 6 readers from TV, journalists, presenters, and I mentioned this to Sam, my daughter, and she said, you haven't even mentioned me that I introduced. That just came out today, I've just written that in. Anyway, there's one regular other reader who, obviously we know that Don Cleaver is not here anymore, and I'm sure our listeners would have loved his dulcet tones, a lovely voice indeed, I always thought, and I'd say I introduced Don here. So, as to Kate's questions as to why I volunteer for Chatterbox, I hope these few minutes will give you some understanding why I love my Chatterbox.
Eddie, thank you very much. Eddie, celebrating 10 years at Chatterbox. Thank you very much.
Hooray!
Right.